The president has secret meetings with the Dark Lord. Let's all pretend that we all do not already suspect that our government seems to be taking orders from a people hell-bent on taking our lives. I am Goldwater, the first man to ever be born in the water, and in this story, I will tell you how the circumstances surrounding my birth played a role in bringing faith back to Nigeria. So you don't miss stories like this, click the subscribe button, activate the bell, and let's get started. It all started on the first day of October 2020. The Dark Lord walked into Aso Rock, and his name was 66. He walked in majestically, like he owned the place, and no one dared to stop him. Not until an innocent young female soldier summoned courage to say, "Stop there, put your hands where I can see them, who searched this man?" 66 just turned back and smiled at the bravery of this young soldier. He says, "It's the audacity for me." She was definitely what he liked. Suddenly, to the surprise of everyone, he disappears before their eyes, leaving behind a cloud of smoke and his complimentary card for the soldier to find. The elevator door opens on the 6th floor, and 66 steps into the president's office and says, "Power looks good on you, my boy." The president is surprised that the Lord of Wrath would come himself. What could be so important? But this wasn't the time to be asking questions. He humbly replied, "Your evilness. You honor me with your kind words. Anything you need, please demand. I'm the president for God's sake." 66 wasn't about to be moved by the empty flattery of a politician. So he simply replies, "Cute." He was here for business, and nothing was going to delay that. He reaches into his briefcase to bring out one tie. He rolls it before telling the president that tradition must be observed before the meeting commences. As he lights the blunt, he expresses his total disappointment in this presidential administration. He asked, "How could you let things get this bad?" And the president, in a bid to save his head, decided to blame it all on the youths. He said, "I was only doing my job. The youths are just making things difficult," but 66 was not in the mode for excuses. He tells the president to be quiet as he passes him the blunt. Mr. President, knowing that he has no choice, takes a quick drag. He whispers, "I'm too old for this." As he immediately passes out and falls to the ground, he then falls into a deep trance. 66 laughs at the weakness of his mind, saying, "See you on the other side, Aboki." In his trance, 66 gives the president strict instructions. Meetings like this, you have to be high in body and spirit to have them. And the president was higher than a kite. He was now in another realm, so he could listen properly. The blood moon had finally come, and they needed to act fast. He ordered the president to send his boys into Asaba, the home of the faithful, a town in the Delta State region of Nigeria. This town was surrounded by the great river Niger, which housed many strange beings. The most powerful of them were called the Sirens. They were a tribe of women who had vowed to live isolated in the depths of the waters in order to nurture their currents and maintain balance in the world. But 66 had found a way to upset this balance as he took advantage of the feud going on amongst the Sirens to broker a deal that would enable him to finally lay waste to the faithfuls. They were to silence the currents of the water for only 60 minutes in order for 66 to infiltrate the kingdom of the faithfuls and retrieve the Sound Sultan, who happens to be the queen. She was a very notable siren that got banished for going against the ways of her people. The traditions didn't allow for sirens to interfere in the affairs of men, but seeing the rising rate of darkness in the land, the Sound Sultan knew it was too risky to not take action. Her strong head got her banished. But now things were different. The festival of the Big Bang was upon us, and it was her duty to perform certain rites that could affect the balance of the world. The water needed her, therefore the world needed her. So the queen, mother of the Sirens, had no choice but to partner with 66. The plan was simple. On that fateful night, The sirens would make sure the faithful were weakened by silencing the currents of the water, and 66 would mobilize his men to retrieve the sound sultan to her people unharmed. Whatever happened to the faithful was up to them. The president was indeed shocked about the extent to which the Dark Lord was willing to go. But there was really nothing he could do about it. He had his instructions, and he needed to obey them. He wakes up from the trance, feeling frightened. He knew that the end of the faithful would mean doom to the world, so he made a secret call. And together with the king of the faithfuls, they devised a counterplan to ensure that the faithfuls aren't wiped out from this earth. Comment faith to the faithless below to continue on the adventures of the faithfuls. Like, comment and share and tell us your thoughts on this. Do you want to know about this secret plan? Do you believe we can defeat the plans of the Godfathers?